Hi, welcome to Chapter 4. This lecture video is going to correspond with Chapter 4 in our book, Welcome to Computer Basics. This is working with apps, and an app is just a program. So it used to be called programs, and then they went to the touch screen, and everything was mobile, and so app is smaller, gives you that small mindset, and so that's kind of why it was shortened to that. So it's working with apps or programs are the same thing. Um, our learning objectives will be to use common features found in drop-down menus on toolbars and ribbons and on scroll bars. Use the mouse effectively as the appearance and function of the mouse pointer changes. Type and edit text in an app. Cut or copy text and then paste it into another location, and saving files or copies of files onto your flash drive. This actually says OneDrive. We're not going to deal with OneDrive so much. In the chapter, we're going to take a look at a couple of different apps or programs. One is Paint. The other one is going to be Word. The book specifically references Word Online. I will show you how to get in there and how to use it, but we're going to be using the actual program that is installed on the computer called Word 2016. So if you can use Word 2016, you can use the Word Online app that is in your browser. And again, I'll show you how to get in there in a little bit. As you use these two very different programs, you're going to notice that there's a lot of similarities on how they are laid out. And that's done on purpose so that if you can run one program, you can usually find the things you need for another program. We're going to talk about cutting, copying, and pasting, saving your work. And as you work in these programs, you need to keep in mind that some of these skills and features are very unique to the programs, but there also can be some very standardized things that will work across many programs. Okay, so the first thing we're going to take a look at is a couple of program windows, and we're going to take a look at some similarities. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Paint. And then I'm going to open up Firefox. Maybe. Okay, so Paint, here we have Paint and we have the ribbon. So we're used to seeing the ribbon now on programs. If we click on File, we have New, we have Open, we have Save, we have Save As, Print, and Exit. Okay, so take a look at that. New, Open, Save, Save As, Print, and Exit. If we come over here to Firefox, which I had snapped, we can see we're going to go to File, and we're going to see New, Open, Save, Print, and Exit. So even though these two programs are very different in what they do, they have a lot of the same functionality from the File menu. And you'll notice that in just about any program that you look at. If you can see File, you can usually click on that and find a drop-down menu. Something like this, and you'll see those same types of options. So it doesn't matter if you're in a Microsoft program, if you're in Mozilla, if you're in Quicken or QuickBooks, if you're in Photoshop, if you have a file menu, then you can usually click on it and see that drop down that's going to give you the options to create something new, or to open something that you've already saved, or to save something, or to print something, or to exit the program. Okay, so keep that in mind. You'll also see with most Microsoft programs, you're going to see something up here in the corner called the Quick Access Toolbar. Okay, so that's pretty standard nowadays. This is Paint. If I come over here and type in WordPad, it'll catch up for me. There we go. Here's WordPad. So I'm just going to go ahead and open that up because I didn't have it pinned, so I actually had to search for it. So here's WordPad, and so if I take a look at this, I can see that I have a quick access toolbar here. This is WordPad. This is Paint. If I open Word, if I just type in Open Word 2016, then you'll see that it has a quick access toolbar too. And we'll be talking more about Word in class because we're going to start having some tests on the Word screen, the layout. And here we go. Here I've got a quick access toolbar here. So most of the Microsoft programs have what's called the quick access toolbar in the upper left hand corner, and it does just what it sounds like. It gives you quick access to different features that you might use frequently. And then we can see we have the ribbon. So the ribbon, we have File, Home, and View. So the ribbon is broken into tabs. So this is the Home tab, or this is the View tab. And as I click them, you can see a different ribbon pull forward. And so on the Home tab, we have some groups. So these groups contain like commands. So the paragraph group contains commands that deal with the paragraph. Okay, this is a word processing program, so it's going to have to deal with paragraphs or font. So the font group deals with how our font is going to look. And then we have the clipboard group, which has paste and cut and copy. And we can take a look at paint. And again, we have a ribbon. So here's our ribbon, and we have groups of like commands, okay? And then this is our clipboard group. So we have clipboard group in both of them, paste, cut, copy, very universal type concept for cut and paste and copy and paste. Then it goes to image, because this is a picture program and it's not so much a text program. So we're going to deal with images, and then tools to create things, and maybe shapes, and a paintbrush because this is a picture program, right? And then we have a color palette. So we can kind of see the similarities in the program, but then we can definitely tell that they're two different programs because they do two different things. The View tab basically shows us how we can change the view of the window that we're in, not necessarily the document, but the view of the window that we're in. We can zoom in on our picture, we can zoom out, we can show the status bar, we can show some grid lines or the ruler. Okay, so if I show the ruler, here I have a ruler at the top and at the side. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this and go into WordPad, and I come over here, and if I go to View, then I'm showing my ruler, but I only have a ruler at the top because that's all we're dealing with as far as a word processing program goes. So let's go back to Paint. Let's minimize that. Let's open Paint back up. Okay, so here we have Paint. I'm going to go back to Home, and at the bottom of page 86 in your book, it wants us to kind of draw in Paint. So we're going to draw a little smiley face, self-portrait, if you will. If you're a great artist, you might be able to make it look really good. I'm not a great artist, but I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of the things here. So here in the Home tab, we're going to see that we have some tools. We have a pencil, we have a fill with color, we have some text, we have an eraser. This is our color picker, so maybe you bring a picture in and you want to do some editing to it, you can click in a location of that picture to pull the color, and then you can, maybe blank some things out using that color versus using the eraser. And then here is the magnifier. We could also do some shapes, and then we could do some brushes. We could change the size of those things, and then we can change the color. So here I'm going to go ahead and draw my circle. So I'm going to do it freehand, which I'm not great, but we're going to do it freehand here. You can see I'm a little off, okay? And I got a little dip, and that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that because I'm going to cover it up with hair. So that was black, and now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, okay, now I want to draw some blue eyes. Here we go. So here's my eyes. Okay. And then I'll have my smile here. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to change to a brush because I want to draw some hair. And you can see that's kind of a big circle. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to make that a little bit smaller, and I'm going to change the color to brown. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and draw some curly hair. Here we go. There we go. And then I'm going to come back to my pencil and grab, I don't know, I like the green, and then I'm going to assign my name. Okay. So here we go. I've just made a couple of little things in this, and that's kind of what they wanted you to do at the book on page 86. Now, you're going to do this. If you haven't done so already, you're going to do this, and you're going to submit this in Canvas under Work of Art, because that's what we're going to save this as. It's a work of art, isn't it? Don't answer. Okay. So we've created this picture, or we've created a document, and we need to have some way to come back and call it back up at some other time. Maybe we want to come back to it next week and finish it up. We're going to need to save it. And so you have the option to save or to save as. Well, the first time you save anything, it doesn't matter if it's a picture, if it's a document, if it's a web page, you have to tell it that you want to save as, because the program wants to know where you want to save it, what you want to name it, and what file extension you want to give it. And in most cases, you know, you're just going to give them the 2 bits of information. That third piece, that file extension, we're not going to deal with, but I'll show you the difference anyway. So with this, it says untitled and paint. This is telling me that I have not saved this particular item at this point. It's giving me untitled, and that's what it gave it as a default name so that it could store it in the random access memory so that we could continue to use it, okay? So I'm going to come over here to File, and I'm going to say Save As. Now at this point I said you can click Save or Save As. It's going to bring up the Save As dialog box regardless. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save, and it brings up the Save As dialog box. Because this is a picture program, it should default to the Pictures folder. If it doesn't default to the Pictures folder, you're going to choose it from the left side of your Save As dialog box, okay? This is the navigation pane, and this deals with locations. So I could save it to Pictures, and then I could save it as